Folks, Trump supporters need to understand one thing. Donald Trump is a weakling and a coward, right? We all remember the presidential campaign of 2016, where Donald Trump said he was going to drain the swamp. He was going to make America great again, where Donald Trump called out Hillary Clinton for arming terrorists in Syria. We remember that campaign. We remember it very, very well. And there were many people who had hope that perhaps Trump would change the policy of aligning with Saudi Arabia. Perhaps the United States would stop aligning with Saudi Arabia, the homeland of Al-Qaeda, the homeland of Osama bin Laden, the purveyor of Wahhabi terrorist ideology that created ISIS. Many people hoped that Trump would change the policy and we would be on the right side of the war on terror. But, as we have clearly seen, that's not the case. Instead of standing up to Saudi Arabia, Donald Trump has killed Qassem Soleimani, the biggest enemy of ISIS, the biggest enemy of Al-Qaeda, someone who has killed more Al-Qaeda and Wahhabi terrorists than anyone else. Qassem Soleimani, the leader of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, is someone that ISIS and Al-Qaeda are terrified of. They tried to kill him many times and failed. But now the United States has done essentially what ISIS and Al-Qaeda could not do and kill the greatest enemy of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. This is cowardly. Donald Trump is not standing up for Americans to protect them from the terrorists who are actually killing us, the terrorists with links to Saudi Arabia. He's not standing up to Al-Qaeda. He's not standing up to Wahhabism and extremism. He's not standing up to ISIS. No, Trump is going to his friends in Saudi Arabia and saying, please, please support me. I'm being impeached. He's going to the neocons in Congress like Lindsey Graham. Please, please support me. I'm being impeached. I don't want to be driven out of office. He's going to the Israel lobby. Likud, Netanyahu, Sheldon Adelson, please, please, here, I'll kill the biggest enemy of Al-Qaeda. You know, I'll kill somebody who stands up to Saudi Arabia. I'll kill the biggest enemy of the Wahhabi terrorists. You know, I'll give a huge favor to ISIS and Al-Qaeda if you'll please protect me. Trump is cowardly. He is bowing. He is bowing before the neoconservatives in his own party. He is bowing before the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the fountainhead of Wahhabi terrorism. He is bowing before the Israel lobby. Donald Trump is groveling. He's groveling before the forces that are actively destroying the lives of Americans, right? We know, look at the terrorist attacks. Omar Mateen, Pulse Nightclub, Zarnev Brothers, Osama bin Laden. The terrorist attacks are being conducted by Wahhabis with ties to Saudi Arabia. But Trump is too much of a weakling to stand up to Saudi Arabia. And instead, he's fighting Saudi Arabia's enemy. He's fighting Saudi Arabia's enemy, the Islamic Republic of Iran. This is cowardly weakness. Look, we need a real war on terror. I rarely speak in these terms, folks, but I might as well. If I, Caleb Maupin, were president of the United States, I have no political aspirations at this time, but if I were the president of the United States, we would have a real war on terror. We would immediately sign a pact with Russia, with the Syrian government, and with China. We would immediately cut off the flow of weapons to Saudi Arabia. And we would immediately, in coalition with Russia, with China, and Syria, start to dismantle Al-Qaeda. We would wage a real war on terror. We would crush ISIS. We would crush Al-Qaeda. We would crush al-Nusra. We would cut off the flow of weapons to Saudi Arabia. We would stop buying Saudi oil. And we would begin to investigate. There would be huge investigations into all the people in our intelligence agencies who have sat down with Wahhabis, sat down with extremists, worked with them in Syria, worked with them in Libya, and helped destabilize legitimate anti-imperialist governments by working with extremists, right? That's the reality. Americans face danger from dying at the hands of Al-Qaeda terrorists, dying at the hands of Wahhabi extremists, dying at the hands of ISIS, dying at the hands of Al-Qaeda. And a real war on terror would involve aligning with socialists and anti-imperialists around the world to crush Wahhabi extremism. That's what a real war on terror would be. And a real war on terror would also go on here at home. We would really drain the swamp. We would put on trial people who worked with Zbigniew Brzezinski and others who worked with Osama bin Laden and helped arm and create the Al-Qaeda Wahhabi menace that now faces us today, right? Make no mistake, Trump's recent assassination of Qassem Soleimani was a cowardly act. Instead of standing up to the terrorists who are killing Americans, he did a huge favor for the terrorists that are killing Americans because he's scared of being impeached. Trump is a weakling and a coward, but a government of action, a strong government of action that would fight for working families in the United States, would wage a real war on terror and crush Wahhabi terrorism and extremism, cut the U.S. ties to Saudi Arabia, and end the system of global monopoly capitalism where billionaires and bankers get wealthy and the people of America and the people around the world remain poor and get poorer. This is the reality of the situation. Donald Trump is not bad because he uses bad language. Donald Trump is not bad because he uses naughty words or tweets too much. Donald Trump is bad because he is a weakling. He is a coward. He is unafraid to stand up to the people that are really destroying the lives of Americans. And that is why Donald Trump shouldn't be respected. If Donald Trump had any courage, if Donald Trump really wanted to make America great again, if Donald Trump really wanted to keep Americans safe, he wouldn't be killing Al-Qaeda's enemies. He would be standing up and cutting ties with Saudi Arabia. This is the reality of the situation we're in, folks. Donald Trump is a weakling and a coward, but we need a government of action that will fight for working families.